Good morning, everybody. This is Jack Leeson with Startuptrading.com. It is 9 o'clock in the morning on October 8th, 2020. Thursday, economic news events, 8:30, an hour before the bell. Bank of Canada Macklin will be speaking, or has already spoke, I should say. That's a Red Star news event for the Canadian dollar. We also last night had the Bank of England Governor Carney speaking. Later today, the RBA financial stability review for the Australian dollars are only following Red Star news event. We also have natural gas storage at 10:30. Natural gas has been crazy volatile over the last few weeks. It is in general, but really has been moving quite a bit. At 1 o'clock, we're going to have the 30-year bond auction, and then this evening, we're going to have household spending and average cash earnings for the Japanese yen. Overnight session and tomorrow morning, GDP numbers out of the Great Britain pound, as well as their goods, trades balance, construction output, and index service. So although there's no Red Star news events, there's 6 Yellow Star news events. So that could definitely get the pound moving at 2 a.m. And then tomorrow morning, we're going to have the unemployment rate for the Canadian dollar, and that'll be a Red Star news event. No big U.S. news tomorrow outside of wholesale inventories at 10 o'clock, and what probably continues to be, the quote-unquote news event that is the market's really keeping an eye out for is any quotes related to the whole stimulus. If there's anything coming up on that, there may or may not be, but we have seen the biggest move specifically on Tuesday, which instantly just was another buy the dip, completely reverse here for the Russell. Now moving on, I'm going to start off with gold and silver. I've said had they put in a potential swing low here. Now we're going to go back out to this weekly chart, and we haven't looked at this weekly chart in quite some time for gold, but what gold has held and has continued to hold is this June. It goes all the way back to March of this year. This extension has traded its 61.8, and that is the current low. That is the current low right now in gold, is that 61.8. Now let's break it down to the daily. We are going to be bumping up against this trend line that has really existed since the beginning of August. We've had 4 touches here, and it's still a little bit above us, and I wouldn't really expect a major breakout, but you can just picture, out into the future what this would look like if we started breaking above this trend line and really got back above 1960. The low is that 61.8 of that weekly level. Now we are going to be battling again on this 50%, and what we really need to do to confirm longs is break out of this 50% retracement short. We had our first test yesterday, and we are bumping up against the second test of the short. Now, the reason I'm bringing up the potential long sequence is out of yesterday's low, we started holding a 50% retracement here in the overnight session. It was a little sloppy on the low yesterday, but we held it in the overnight session. And then this next measured move was front run at its 38.2. You could argue one of two things. One, that there's going to be an extension from that high, or two, that there's an next traditional. Now, this is the only, if we don't hold this above this 61.8, then this whole idea I would just think becomes pretty sloppy for gold. But as long as we stay above, I'm going to say 1897 here, I do think gold has the chance to break out through this, what is going to be this second test. The second test of the 50% retracement short, because we're green on this hourly, and so what I'm going to be looking for is the 1899.6 and the 1898.6. They're about a point away from each other, and then I would be anticipating to move up into 1918 as a profit target there for GC. Moving on to silver, which is more technical here on that higher time frame. We had this 50% retracement that was front run last week on Wednesday, the last day of the month, September 30th. We front ran that level. Now we retested it into the close Tuesday on the non-stimulus deal, and then coming out of lows, there was a 50% retracement that completed profit targets. Okay, we completed those targets, and so all we're looking for is that next measured move. That is a 23.87 half, 23.87 half, and lines up really with those overnight lows, that is going to be the support level there for silver. In this higher time frame, halfway back long, that was at 23.17. Upside target is a 25.20. Moving on to the indexes, which are all inside of extensions. The Russell was the best setup Tuesday. I went over it Tuesday when we came into it. We have already through that Tuesday high. It was like nothing ever happened. That's when you get these liquidation breaks that are basically just like a news event nobody sees coming. I think I do have to let RS in the trade room somehow got short right before that came out. We all get lucky now and then, but that was pretty incredible because everybody was bashing him, why are you shorting? And then that tweet came out and the market just got slaughtered. It just goes to show anything is always possible. I don't rule anything out in the market ever. So we have this high from last Wednesday, the 30th to high. That 50% retracement came into play at the end of the day. There was bids at that level. We did dip in a little bit, and then once we started catching our bid, we've just been straight up. We are inside of an extension long sequence on the smaller time frame, and this is what it is. It's a 16.049 to high. We've traded that 50% retracement. Its upside target is 1629.2, and then we'll have a same anchor new high. But higher time frame upside targets, if we do continue to get that push, we want to see the market. If a market can stay above really the overnight lows, stay above that Tuesday high, we're going to get up to that 1639 here today. Moving on to the S&P 500, also in an extension. I have these deeper 50% retracements, but they're just, I don't think they're going to trade here unless we're going to have to get some heavy selling pressure that breaks us through the current 5-minute trend, which is holding an extension. And these are the moves in play, and we're bullish above. The extension is from the high here at 33.95. I think that's a 33.95 quarter. It's that high from 9:55 in the morning East Coast time. We traded it once in the overnight session. We completed the negative 61.8. We had a same anchor new high. That same anchor new high, all of the indexes or support levels came in at the same time. It was right around 4:30 in the morning. The upside target based on this move is going to be a 33.42, and ideally in the morning, I'd like to see a retest of 34.18 half. 34.18 half would be a 38% retracement retest. That's what there's gonna be retests this morning. I do trust second tests in these types of situations where all of the indexes are in alignment with each other. They're all trending higher. They're all up. And it's going to be, there's a whole new set of buyers in the morning compared to at 4:30 in the morning. So second tests here for me don't really scare me, as normally I don't really like second tests. Moving on to the Dow, same thing, an extension. Now the Dow did just tag that 61, is still come shy of its target. I'm not going to move this draw. The support level, and it lines up with the previous daily swing mark, 28,260. We got that dotted orange line right below. So that's going to be the support level I'm looking for here in the YM today. Moving on to the Nasdaq. Now the Nasdaq, if there's any market, the Nasdaq, let me actually preface this. Look at this daily chart, all right? We are running into what is the halfway back, and the Nasdaq hasn't broken above it, but when it does, it's going to squeeze, and it's most likely going to squeeze straight up into an 11,750. That's what I have really as the next resistance. This is a giant gap here. This is basically just a giant gap. So if we can make that push up through these resistance levels, this thing is going to sail like we've seen it sail before. And the current sequence in play, I have this full halfway back drawn, but without any type of new ground shaking tweets or news, we're probably not going to get that big of a move. There was this extension similar to the other indexes. Now we blew through those negative 100 targets. The 11,498 to high is what's going to be in play here this morning. And you can already see, even though we spent some time consolidating on that 61, we made that new high. The buyers engaged. Everything above 11,528 is very bullish here, and we could blow the top off here in the NQ. We're green on the 5-minute with the startup trading indicators leg starts. That is very bullish price action. If we could fall back into this zone earlier in the morning and then look for a reversal back above the full 50% retracement short, like I said, the higher time frame resistance level probably not coming into play for over, it's going to be close to 200 points. Moving on to oil, which held our extensions that I've shared on Tuesday. We came into that yesterday, had some internet issues. Somebody blew a cable line over by where I live. So I wasn't able to get on here, but we came into the 39.52. First test, got back up, dipped a little bit below our support, and really began moving here. I would love a 50% resistance long from Wednesday's low to high. We'll have to see if that trades. I'm just going to continue to watch it with an alert. 40.05. It actually needs to move up now because we just made a new high, but I'll just continue to drag this halfway back. Look for that 50% retracement. It's a 40.10 right now. Moving on to the USD Jpy. Now the USD Jpy last Friday completed a setup from the it's called my Jack's room, which is basically where I post really important support or resistance levels. We've completed that setup. 106.13 is a negative 23% profit target. 106.10 is a daily leg start. Now the high is the leg start right now. It's also a 3-pip front run of the profit target. If we could fall back into that next measured move, which is just that Friday low to high, halfway back, lines up with that Tuesday consolidation, right around that Sunday open, Monday lows, so 105.53. I'm looking at potentially a third touch into a new high coming into resistance at the 106.13, or a move all the way back down to 105.53 before I want to get interested here in the USD JPY. Aussie dollar. Great move out of the 50% retracement long that traded on the close. The close Tuesday was basically a reversal point in almost every single market we watch. And that's usually the case. Now, when the market was getting slammed on Tuesday, I didn't really do anything. I just watched it. Sometimes you feel the need to chase every single move. Maybe you went into the end of the day short because we got slaughtered and the stimulus was off the table. The next day we gap up 25 points in the S&P 500 and the whole thesis is wrong. When you get those liquidation breaks, when you get the market to just, all of a sudden start going one way or the other, you're either going to day trade the move, like just the move. And when the market closes, you're out of your positions, or you wait, you zoom out, you see what we're running into. We ran into this beautiful 50% retracement long. I put it in the alerts. The Startuptrading Alerts, and I was just looking for a 40 pip target, but that got completed. We're looking for the next halfway back long. Tuesday's low to high, it's a 71.32. The euro here, the euro has completed this negative 23% profit target. Okay, after completing that profit target, we had this 50% retracement long. Same thing, traded on the Tuesday. However, it did dip in, but then we reconfirmed it by breaking above the 61.8. So basically what we're coming into here is this second test of this sloppy. Now we can continue to consolidate between this 117 below this low 117.31 back up to the 117.88. And if we do get a deeper pullback, I think we're most likely probably heading back to the bottom of the range, failing the continuation and getting a move down to 116.83. So if we don't hold below, or I should say above Tuesday's low, I would just expect a retest of the bottom of last week's range on Wednesday. Moving on to the pound. The pound was front run at its halfway back long at a 128.41 yesterday. At this point in time, I'd like to see a retest, but we might not get it. We can also look at this 38 here as being support, 128.80. I'll just have to see it when it trades. Look for a confirmation on the 5-minute time frame. I wouldn't just go out and blindly limit it right now. And then the USD Cad. The USD Cad has a beautiful 50% retracement short that traded in the overnight session on Wednesday. Now, there was a halfway back that was super aggressively front run. That first halfway back, very aggressively front run, and then I just drew the extension here. What I'm looking for is this 50% retracement. We have a leg start there. We have a previous daily swing high. So it's a triple level at the 132.57. That's about the only thing I'm interested in, unless we get down to our support zones here in the USD Cad below us. All right, but that's going to wrap up. And there is that gold trade that I talked about first thing here this morning. Look at the reaction off of that. Just absolutely perfect. And really that is because of, the only reason I'm taking as long into the second test of this short is because we're green on the hourly. That's such a helpful indicator that I use to gauge strength. It really helps, be on the right side of the momentum of the trade. But free trade instantly there in gold. Anyways, that's going to wrap up my morning trade plan. Just a quick note, I will be here till about 11:30, and then I got to hit the road. I'm doing a little bit of a road trip going to Naples, Florida. If anybody's in Naples, hit me up. I'll be down there till next Thursday. I got to drive my dog down there. So have a great day. I'll be here at 11:30, and then I'll be here tomorrow morning, and then I'll have to do the second leg of my road trip. So take care. I'll see you guys there.